In the 1500s, a man named Charles Borromeo was born into one of the wealthiest and most powerful families in Italy. He was a nobleman destined for a life of luxury and ease. As a young man, he was incredibly smart and was trained in law. His life changed completely when his uncle was elected pope. The new pope immediately called his brilliant nephew to Rome. He made Charles a cardinal and put him in charge of the entire archdiocese of Milan, even though Charles was only 21 years old and not yet a priest. Suddenly, Charles was one of the most powerful men in the world, living in a palace and managing the affairs of the church. His biggest task was to help finish the Council of Trent, a huge meeting called to reform the Catholic Church. Charles worked tirelessly, and this experience showed him the deep problems and corruption inside the church. He strived for change. Later, Saint Charles Borromeo's older brother died. Charles was now the sole heir to the family's fortune and title. Everyone expected him to leave the priesthood, get married, and carry on the family name. But Charles shocked everyone. He refused. He felt God was calling him to a different path. He was ordained a priest and then became the Bishop of Milan, for real, leaving his life of political power in Rome behind to actually serve his people. When he arrived in Milan, he found a diocese in chaos. The clergy were often uneducated and lazy. The faith of the people was weak. Charles got to work. He sold his own valuable possessions to feed the poor. He started schools to properly train priests. He fired corrupt church leaders and held everyone to a higher standard. Saint Charles Borromeo faced angry opposition and even an assassination attempt from those who didn't want to change, but he was not afraid. His greatest moment came when a terrible plague swept through Milan. The city's leaders and rich citizens fled in terror, but Bishop Charles Borromeo stayed. He refused to abandon his people. He used his own money to feed thousands who were starving. He set up hospitals in the streets. Most courageously, he walked right into the homes of the sick and dying to comfort them and give them their last rites, risking his own life with every visit. He was a pillar of strength and hope in a city of despair. The man born into immense privilege became the humble servant who washed the wounds of the poor. Worn out from his constant work and sacrifice, Charles Borromeo died at the age of 46. He is remembered as a giant of the church, a saint who used all his power, wealth, and energy not for himself, but to serve God and his people, especially the sick and the poor. He is the patron saint of bishops, catechists, and spiritual leaders.